Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to lesson 9. Today's lesson is going to be mostly a review. We're going to take a look at some of the tables that we've seen in the last few lessons and really practice them and revise them so you have them inshallah in your memory. So in the last few lessons we've covered 3 important tables. 2 of them have to do with pronouns in lesson 5. So we looked at pronouns in the marfu' case when the pronoun is a separate word like huwa, hiya, hum, he, she, they. And then we also took a look at pronouns in the majroor case or in the mansub case when the pronoun is a suffix. So each of these, the marfu'a case and the majroor slash mansub case, had its own table. So we'll review that. And then we'll take a look at past tense verbs and conjugating past tense verbs, which we covered in the last lesson. So let's start by taking a look at this table here. This is pronouns in the marfu'a case. So say it with me here. Huwa, hum, hiya, hunna, anta, antum, anti, antunna, ana, nahnu. So now what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and say each of these pronouns with a noun attached to it. So say something like, he is a Muslim. They are a Muslim. So if you do this, then you should try this on your own, and then I'll also say it in momentarily. Huwa muslimun, hum muslimuna, hiya muslimatun, hunna muslimatun, anta muslimun, antum muslimuna, anti muslimatun, antunna muslimatun, ana muslimun or muslimatun depending on your gender, nahnu muslimuna or muslimatun, again depending on the gender of the speakers. Okay, so let's move on to pronouns in the majroor case and the mansub case. So here we have this table, and so all of these are suffixes that we're going to attach to a particular verb or noun. Remember, if we attach it to a noun, it's possessive. So I can say kitabuhu, it means his book. If I attach it to a verb, something like nasara, remember what does nasara mean? It means he helped. If I attach a pronoun suffix to nasara, it becomes the object of the sentence. So he helped him, nasarahu. Nasarahu, he helped him. Okay? Now, one important thing to remember is that some of the suffixes have multiple forms. So, for example, hu versus he. So, why does this happen? When should you use hu, when should you use he? Or in the Quran, when you see it, why is one being used versus the other? It depends on what the previous sound is, the previous vowel. If the previous vowel is a kasra, if it's an e sound, or if it's an a sound also, then use the he suffix. So fihi, in him or in it. Li ahlihi, to his people. To his people. If the sound before the suffix is anything besides an e or an a sound, then use the u ending. So yaduhu. Yad means hand. Yaduhu, his hand. Rafa'nahu, we raised him or we raised it. Remember, if it's a masculine noun, it could be an object. It might not necessarily be a person. It could also be a masculine noun. So if we're saying, for example, we raised the book, rafa'nahu, because kitabun is a masculine noun. Okay, let's go back to this table and let's complete it. So we'll do the whole table with nasara. Nasarahu, nasarahum, he helped them. Nasaraha, he helped her. Nasarahunna, he helped them, that group of women. Nasaraka, he helped you. Nasarakum, he helped you all. Nasaraki, he helped you, speaking to a woman. Nasarakunna, he helped you, group of women. Nasarani, he helped me. Nasarana, he helped us. Remember, if you're talking about yourself, me or my, use a different pronoun suffix depending on if it's my, then use the e. If it's me, use ni. Everything else is the same. Okay, so now I want you to practice this table on your own with the verb sa'ala. So just go through the table and try to do it without looking at the table. Take each of the suffixes and attach it to the verb sa'ala, which means he asked. Okay, so I'll pause the video and try this yourself. Okay, so if you've done that, so you should have gone through and you should have said sa'alahu, he asked him, and you should have gone through the whole table like that. Okay, so that's the pronoun tables. We also covered verb conjugation. Now, verb conjugation, we said there's a table depending on who the subject of the verb is. So if the verb is performed by a man or a woman, by a group of men, a group of women, if it's performed by you all, you change the form of the verb by adding the appropriate suffix to the verb. So let's take a look at that table. So we saw this before. كتب, كتبوا, كتبت, كتبنا, كتبت, كتبت, كتبتم, كتبتي, كتبتن, كتبتو, كتبنا. Okay, so we've seen this before. Hopefully you've practiced this. Let's try it with a different verb. Okay, so now take the verb سمع and go through it. So I'll go ahead and do this here. So سمع just takes, each of these letters take the place of كتب. So let me go through this one. سمع, سمعوا, they heard. So سمع means to hear. So سمعوا, they heard. سمعت, she heard. سمعنا, سمعنا, notice that there's no alif here. So this is سمعنا with a short fatha. It's different from سمعنا, which means we heard. This سمعنا means that group of women heard. سمعت, سمعتم, سمعتي, سمعتن, سمعتو, سمعنا. Alright, so now you try it with another verb, جعل, which means he made or he put. So again, pause the video and go through this table on your own. It's okay if you have to look at this, but you should get to a point where you don't even have to look at the table. You can do this in your head. Okay, so we'll go on and actually practice this with a few exercises. So the first exercise that we have here is مِنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. مِنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. So here we have the phrase مِنَ اللَّهِ, so from Allah. And, wa means and, رَسُولِهِ. So what does رَسُولِهِ mean? What does the suffix he mean? And his messenger. Again, we're using he here, he, because the sound before it is li, is an e sound. So instead of saying rasulihu, we're going to say rasulihi. Another thing to consider is, why is there a kasra on the he here, min Allahi, and why is there a kasra on the lam here? It's because they're both following this preposition min, and we know the word following the preposition takes a kasra. So min Allahi, so from Allah and from his messenger. Hunna ummuhatuhum. Hunna ummuhatuhum. The word ummuhat is the plural of so it means mothers. So what does this whole sentence mean? Try translating this yourself. They are their mothers. So if I was to say this in English, they are their mothers. So let's understand this. Hunna is a group of women. So I'm talking about them. They. So of course I'm using hunna here because it's talking about ummahat, mothers. So I have to say hunna. But this is is not feminine. So it's not saying they are those women's mothers. They are that group of people's mothers. Okay, so it's talking about a group of men, or it could be talking about a group, a mixed group, men and women. If it's a mixed group, you also use the masculine suffix and the masculine pronoun. Alright, خرجنا معكم. خرجنا معكم. So خرج means to leave. So خرجنا معكم. We left with you all. So ma'a means with. So kum is talking about a group of people. So we left with you all. We left with you all. نصركم الله ببدر. Okay, so this is a good sentence. Let's practice this. So nasara means what? It means helped. Nasarakum. Nasarakum. So now this is very important, and this can be a little bit tricky. So you might think initially when you see this that saying that you all helped, but that's not the case, because the suffix kum does not mean, if you go back to this table, that's not how you say you all did a verb. That would be nasartum if it was you all helped. Nasarakum is attaching the pronoun suffix kum. So it actually means he helped you all. He helped you all. Then we see the word Allah after that, and we'll notice that Allah is in the marfu'a case, so Allah is the subject. The word Allah is in the marfu'a case, so Allah is the subject of this sentence. So Allah helped you all. Allah helped you all bi badrin. So Badr is the battle of Badr. Bi here is the suffix, which has a lot of different meanings. In this case, maybe the best English translation would be at. So Allah helped you all at Badr. Starting with the group of Muslims at Badr, Allah helped you all at Badr. Okay? Alright, so make sure that those exercises make sense. And then I have 3 more exercises for you to try on your own. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. And inshallah, I will go through and try to answer them. Jazakallah khair. This has been a review lesson. So hopefully you can take this time to really consolidate your knowledge, especially of these tables. These tables are so important. And they'll be important as we go forward. So take this time, really understand it. And inshallah, I will see you next time. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.